order. I'll have the city town clerk take the roll.
Douglas.
Present.
Burt.
Present.
Rodriguez.
Present.
Singh. Here. Rodriguez.
Here.
David.
Here.
Haywood. Antune. Here. Santana. Miller.
Here.
Santiago.
Here.
Fresco. Hamza.
Here.
Tola.
Here.
Edwards.
Here.
Ashland Smith.
Here.
Wintер.
Here.
Morrison. Walker Myers.
Here.
Hamilton.
Present.
Marshall.
Here.
Raheem.
Present.
Furlow.
Here.
Bruce Sabar.
Here.
Wingate.
Present.
Smith.
Here.
A quorum has been established. Can everyone please put your cell phones on silent? Thank you. We will now have divine guidance by order from Ward 6.
You all may be seated. As we celebrate Black History Month, I thought about many things. Our children, our families, and the times that we're living. I chose this poem by Langston Hughes because I felt it's appropriate in the moment in time we're in. I dream a world where man, no other man will scorn, where love will bless the earth, and peace its path adorn. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, nor others lights our day. A world I dream where black or white, whatever you be, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free. Where wretchedness will hang its head, and joy, like a pearl, attends the needs of all mankind. Of such I dream of my world, by Langston Hughes. Thank you.
Will the committee of escort please take your position and go escort in the mayor? Thank you. So everyone please stand.
Please be seated. It's not that long to speak. It's good to be here. It's good to be here again. It's good to be here with a room full of all the sitting right where on Augustus and all Augustus sitting for many, many President Walker Myers, members of the Board of Alders, City Clerk Michael Smarts, distinguished guests and New Haven residents, it is an honor to be before you to offer an update on the state of our city. Madam President, I'd like to take a moment to congratulate you on your re-election last month to the board's top post. And I appreciate the long hours and hard work that you do. I've seen it firsthand. We meet 3 times a week with the leadership team, and just so many examples of you, your leadership team, and the Alders' commitment to our residents, to our city. I think that I speak on behalf of everyone in saying how grateful we are for your service and your work. This event is now my 3rd State of the City address. It's a time for us to reflect. 2 years ago, in this chamber, we were maskless and not yet fully aware of the invisible threat already circulating in our community. Then last year, after nearly a year of fear and uncertainty, of isolation and loss, we had a safe and effective vaccine. The pandemic was still taking lives and causing hardship, but the optimism was palpable. Now, I'm an optimistic person, but not all optimism is the same. Our collective optimism in February of 2020 relied on the bliss of being ignorant to what lied ahead, while our February of 2021 optimism was undergirded by a hope that vaccines would deal a quick blow and decisive knockout punch to COVID-19. Today's optimism is different, and it stems from 2 years of proof that New Haven and our residents have what it takes to persevere and what it takes to care for each other. We have grit and determination to sacrifice, to push through, to have difficult conversations, and to get back up after we've been knocked down. And today's optimism is grounded in the remarkable progress the city of New Haven has made over this past year in our support for young people, our work on housing, our work on wealth creation, our work to grow our transportation hubs, our work to stabilize our city's finances. It's put us in a stronger position than we have been in decades. We're hitting our stride. New Haven, we're hitting our stride. If COVID-19 was an earthquake, in 2021, we felt the aftershock, but not as acute as the jarring and initial event, but instead a sustained tremor we just couldn't ignore. The crunch in the supply chain, the tension in the labor market made it challenging for our small businesses to keep products on the shelves and to hire enough folks to keep operations running. The year of remote learning brought to the surface mental health and social emotional learning challenges that have plagued our young people for many years. After 2 decades of declining violence across America, cities like New Haven saw the 2020 spike in violence continue and accelerate. COVID-19 started as a health challenge, but quickly sprawled into an everything challenge. Someday soon, masks will go away. You go into a crowded restaurant without a second thought, and 8 hours straight of Zoom meetings will be a thing of the past. I think that's an applause line, right? If you were new to this city, you might ask why. Why, if the pandemic is over, we're or simply becoming endemic, where our kids need historic investments into their mental health to get them on track? Why do our local businesses need a helping hand? Why do we hear the echo of gunfire so often? But for those of us who aren't, we know it's because these issues, these challenges are not, sure, they look slightly different. They may have compounded, become more acute and more omnipresent, but they're not new. But I'm confident in saying our city has never been better positioned to tackle these longstanding challenges and do so in a way that equitably lifts up every neighborhood. 2020 was one of the deadliest years of gun violence in our nation's past 2 decades. And 2021 started off with an incredibly violent month. We had 5 homicides in a single month. We lost 5 members of our community in a single month. This level of violence is heartbreaking and completely unacceptable. I can tell you that there is no duty that I take more seriously than my responsibility to ensure members of our community are safe. When you talk with individuals involved in violence reduction, they will tell you that unwinding these cycles is hard. It takes a long time. But there are strategies that we know work. They're backed by evidence and have long track record in our community. But the pandemic in 2020 led to the suspension or alteration of many critical services in the area of violence prevention. Project Longevity and Project Safe Neighborhood, programs that hold regular call-ins with individuals at risk of engaging in or being victims of violent crime, didn't hold in-person call-ins in 2020, but we restarted them in 2021 and increased their frequency and the number of individuals they communicate with. Youth Connect continued to meet in 2020, but not with the same in-person engagement that is vital to keep our most at-risk young people on track. 2020 was also the year without the other robust youth services we're used to seeing. Summer camps and youth at work are critical tools to keeping young people engaged in productive activity, helping them learn new skills, meet new friends, and earn some extra money. We knew this was not sustainable. We also knew that restoring this programming to previous levels was not enough. After a year of virtually no summer engagement and a year of distance learning, our young people needed more, much more. We matched the moment and invested, thanks to the work that you all did, $1.5 million into summer and youth engagement. We expanded camp options and hours, and we offered a summer job for the first time in our city's history to every single young person who applied, over 750 young people. And beyond this historic programmatic funding, we reopened the Q House to deliver high-quality services to young people in the heart of our Dixwell neighborhood. Without the hard work of Alder Morrison, it's her birthday, by the way. I think she's not here. Taking it off, she deserves it. City engineer Giovanni Zinn and so many others, this wouldn't have happened. And the Shack has come online thanks to the support of our state delegation, city support, and most importantly, the passion and tenacity of Alders Smith. Every day is Alders Smith's birthday. New Haven returns dozens of residents every year from incarceration. These individuals have paid their debt to society, but often face incredible obstacles when returning home, from employment and housing to substance use and mental health challenges. They need our support. Like other programs, our reentry work was impacted in 2020 by the pandemic. But in the early days of 2021, we cut the ribbon on the reentry walking center. This new one-stop shop offers wraparound services for individuals reentering our community. And in their first year of operation, they served more than 350 individuals. Project More, that is the lead on this site, is a leader in our community, and the work they're doing is incredible. Our team will continue to bring stakeholders together to support the services being offered at the welcome center. Conversations around public safety all too often start with the police, but instead I'm going to close this section by talking about police, because they're one part, an important part, but only one part of the citywide strategy to address violence in the city. After years of declining numbers of officers within the department, walking beats have taken a real hit. This face-to-face interaction between residents and officers forms the foundations of strong relations. New Haven is a leader in community policing. Last year, we increased our investment into summer walking and bicycle. We expanded PAL Camp, and police department hosted community events like the Police versus Fire Department basketball game. We also made a large push in recruitment, and this year we had the largest applicant pool for New Haven police officers in quite a long time. The group of more than 500 applicants was also more diverse and a higher percentage of New Haven residents than previous applicant classes. Currently, we have 30 new recruits in the academy. Slowly but surely, we're rebuilding the department, adding to the capacity to deepen our community policing model. This year, we will build on that work. Looking ahead, we have so much to be optimistic about. We sent to the board our proposal to invest $10 million in American Rescue Plan funding into expanded youth engagement and employment opportunities. Later this month, mayors and first selectmen, in concert with our legislative delegation, will call on the state of Connecticut to do more of its part for our youth by making a historic investment into our young people too. Robust summer camps and youth employment for every young person who desires the opportunity shouldn't be the aspiration, but instead it should be the new standard. And we have more work to be done in order to ensure that neighbors and neighborhoods have access to a youth center. The Q House in Dixville and the Shack in West Rock will touch the lives and shape the trajectory of our young people. But there are more opportunities, like in Trowbridge Square in the Hill. And we'll build on last year's work to improve the police department. Last week, I swore in 7 new sergeants. These new leaders in our department look like our community and are the latest step in our efforts to rebuild the department. Next month, we will be promoting more officers to detective, adding much needed capacity in our effort to hold perpetrators of violence in our community accountable. But more sergeants and detectives alone isn't enough to address our clearance rate, which is why, thanks to your support, we're funding 500 new cameras that will be deployed to assist in investigations. There may be a few vocal doubters in the utility of cameras, but we've talked with our counterparts in Hartford and Bridgeport, cities that have many more cameras than New Haven. And they have said that cameras have been used in nearly every homicide that they have solved. Cameras won't solve everything by any means, but they will be a critical tool for achieving the goal of solving homicides and bringing justice for so many families and friends of our lost community members. Taken together, these efforts will build on the work we started in 2021 and work to make our city streets safer for everyone. Next, I'd like to talk about housing. In many ways, New Haven is booming. You look around the corner, cranes in the sky, buildings going up all over the place, and more in the pipeline. Audubon and Orange, Olive Chapel, House Street, Whitney Avenue, Lake Street, the Fusco development on Longboard, Dixwell Plaza. It is truly remarkable, the investment that is coming into our city. On the other hand, so many New Haveners are deeply struggling when it comes to housing. We all know this. Just yesterday, someone called me about her key being out and the landlord being slow to respond. We all know countless stories of people rent going up and housing quality going down. I printed double-sided to save paper. When we think about creating a safe community for every resident, the idea of safety must extend into the home. Every resident in our community deserves to have a safe and affordable place to live. Far, far too many in our community currently do not. Last year, we dramatically accelerated the work to improve affordability and housing safety in many ways. On safety, instead of continuing to fight with legal aid, we sat down with them because we both share the goal of keeping our young people safe from lead poisoning. We know that lead exposure can have a devastating lifelong health and cognitive consequences. The health department has revamped our inspection procedure, digitized the record keeping, significantly increased the number of inspectors, and eliminated the case backlog. Now action is taken immediately to help New Haven's most vulnerable children when exposed to lead. Over the past year, our health department has secured more than $6 million in federal housing and urban development grant money to scale up abatement programs and inspections for lead and other home hazards, such as radon and mold. And LCI has increased inspections for safety-related code violations. Each inspector is now responsible for conducting at least 6 inspections per day, and they're equipped with new technology to record and upload inspection reports in real time. And this board is poised to provide LCI with yet another tool. When I hope you pass the natural persons ordinance, allowing us to find out what real person is behind the LLC that mistreats a resident. Together, we also implemented this past year the most aggressive expansions of affordable housing policies and developments the city has seen. Providing new tools like accessory dwelling units to create more housing supply and passing one of the most progressive inclusionary zoning ordinances to require affordable and deeply affordable units as part of new developments. Now, when developers invest into our community, that development will benefit everyone by increasing the supply of affordable units. The number of new affordable units projected to come online between Beacon, Beulah, Ashland and Canal, Thompson and Winchester, and others is notable. On top of all this progress, we've submitted to you all a proposal to spend an additional $10 million on housing initiatives, including expanding our down payment assistance program, rental assistance, a fair housing fund, and more. Finally, on the housing front, we're proposing the formation of a New Haven land bank and seeding it with $4 million of funds. This will allow us to be quick to the market to secure strategically important properties before a large out-of-town developer does, giving us better control of the development direction in our community. Each one of these initiatives, ADUs, inclusionary zoning, natural persons, LCIs, and the health department's operational improvements, hundreds of new affordable units coming online, expanded down payment assistance and rental assistance programs, the land bank, each one of them doesn't change our city on its own or in an instant, but taken together over time because of the work that's gone on in this chamber and by the people working in this building and the advocates in our community, we will have dramatically changed the trajectory of our city's housing to be more humane, inclusive, and equitable. On the economy, New Haven is the economic hub of our region. A world-renowned research institution sits at our city center. Our Hill neighborhood is home to the top of the line hospital, and cultural institutions like the Schubert Theater and Regamos dot our city streets. Prominent new businesses bring growth and opportunity. Alder Therapeutics is developing life-saving drugs at Winchester Works and contributing to our burgeoning bioscience industry. Without projects like Winchester Works and other business incubators across the city, we wouldn't have been able to break ground on 101 College, a project that will bring 700 to 1,000 jobs to the young city. And our neighborhoods are home to hundreds of small businesses, both existing and new, that are the lifeblood of our city's future. Now, you've heard about these projects, and you've heard just how important it is that we now have a viable airport and viable train station for years to come to help the development and growth in New Haven. But we all know that growth must not benefit just one group of people, but that all New Haven residents must benefit, not just with a short-term job or a one-time subsidy, but with true creation of wealth. Existing city programs like the DNA of an entrepreneur have assisted new entrepreneurs gaining skills needed to start new businesses. I've been at many of the ribbon cuttings, but now it's time to expand on these programs. With your collaboration, we'll expand the work of the city's Financial Empowerment Center, support creative entrepreneurs in a way that is consistent with the city's new cultural equity plan, provide direct grant support to small businesses with an emphasis on Black and brown businesses and owners, and more. And we've talked a lot about youth programming and employment, but our young people also need to benefit from the growing economic opportunities in New Haven. Our commitment doesn't stop when summer ends or when they're getting ready to leave high school. We have a duty to ensure that if you're a young person in this city, you have a path to a career that pays enough to support a family. While a four-year degree is right for some young people, we must not think it's the only option. This year, we'll be doing more to invest in vocational and technical education. By investing $8 million in American Rescue Plan funding, we'll launch a VOTEC initiative with the goal of creating a vocational technical school and a training and entrepreneurial pipeline so that young people, no matter who they are ensured the opportunity for a good paying job and a bright future. The state of the city is a time to step back and look at things through a bigger lens. Do you remember the state of the city last year? Because I think it underscores just how far we've come. I was standing here alone. I think Mr. Lucas was here, but that's bad. In the Board of Alders chamber, speaking to a camera. I spoke of hope, but at the same time, one of the centerpieces of my speech was about just how dire the financial health of our city was. And the people in this room today know better than anyone that our city's finances tie into every aspect of how we serve our residents. You can't support individuals experiencing homelessness without funding to do so. You can't create a new youth center without funding to do so. You can't plow or pave the street, trim a tree, fix a sidewalk without funding to do so. You can't educate our children without funding to do so. I specifically called out the state of Connecticut and Young University about their duty to do more. Less than a month after that speech, I submitted 2 budgets to the Board of Alders, one of which I'm sure you remember quite well, because it included massive cuts and a significant tax increase if we did not increase state aid and get a larger commitment from the end. Since then, we have seen truly historic changes. First, with the increase in pilot from the state from $41 million per year to $90 million per year in direct payments. Second, with the increase from Yale University from $13 million per year to $23 million per year in direct payments. Just think about that. An increase of almost $60 million annually. The city's general fund budget is just over $600 million. Last year, we were able to increase our revenues with no additional cost to our taxpayers by almost 10%. That's remarkable. That's remarkable. And that's about the work that you all do in our community, that we do together. That additional funding took us off the precipice. It allowed us to stabilize our finances. And yes, New Haven still faces financial headwinds in the future because of our pension obligations, increasing healthcare costs, and debt. It won't be easy, but this year will be dramatically different than last. From a budget perspective, we can finally stand on 2 feet in a position of strength. And as I've talked about this evening, these changes combined with the American Rescue Plan funds allow us to ensure our young people get a shelter job. They help our residents have support for a down payment on a home so they can start building wealth, start building equity. They provide seed funding to help a resident start a new business. They provide a safe space for a young person to go in their neighborhood with mentors and support. They deepen the work around protecting our climate. All while we do the small but important things people expect from local government. 3 years ago, I said the state of the city was precarious. Last year, I said the state of the city was hopeful. And this year, we're hitting our stride. We're hitting our stride. The state of the city is strengthening. We have much work to do. I don't need to tell you all that. But look at how far we have come already. As we walk towards a day when in New Haven, every resident has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, and we will take a 5-minute recess. If anyone would like to leave, you can do so during that time. You are welcome to stay. We will take a 5-minute recess. So we're gonna take a 5-minute recess, everyone. Can I please see orders from board read at 4 please?
Item that Mike was going to send so we can use it for points of preference. Personal. It's about the job for this week. I can read it from there.
Turn your camera sideways.
Oh. Okay, better.
There you go.
Contractor opportunity.
Oh yeah, I think
Well, I'm gonna mention it.
okay. Oh, that's why they made it to you.
Stop it. Thank you. Order.
What's more?
Order 418, can I please see for a second? Order 18.
I will take a peek.
So, this one. Did anyone just pass away that we know about? No, right? Okay. So then I'll miss that. Yeah, oh yeah, I thought you might okay. This week was okay. I was up a little bit. Yeah,
Everybody except for me.
okay, I'm about to get here.
What's wrong? Man?
Oh, wait.
No, you only have only second meeting with them. It's festive.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. You can go now.
Will orders please take your seat? We will now have the city town clerk take the roll.
Bay. Douglas.
Present.
Hurt.
Present.
Rodriguez.
Present.
Singh.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
Saban. Hooper. Decker. Festa.
Here.
Haywood. Antunes.
Here.
Santana.
Here.
Miller. Santiago.
Here.
Crespo. Punzo.
Here.
Cola. Edwards.
Here.
National Smith.
Here.
Winter.
Here.
Morrison. Walker Meyer.
Here.
Hamilton.
Present.
Marshon. Raheem.
Present.
Furlong.
Here.
Deuce Bar.
Here.
Wingate.
Present.
Smith.
Here.
Cooper.
I would like to note for the record that order from Ward 8 has joined us. A quorum has been established. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening. It's good to speak to you from the microphone. To approve the journal of the January 18, 2022 regular meeting of the Board of Alders.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. Are there any corrections to the journal? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under unanimous consent, I ask you to see an item number 1 from the tax collector order of tax refunds, February 7, 2022.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask you to see items 2 through 9 to order concerning real property taxes of the better first, motor vehicle tax accounts 81571 and 57227. 3, order concerning real property taxes of Kathleen Fabrizi, motor vehicle tax accounts 84941. Order concerning real property taxes of Gilbert Ruffin, motor vehicle tax account 720172 and 737008. 5, order concerning real property taxes of Rosalinda Mayberry on motor vehicle tax account 62458. 6, order concerning real property taxes of Emma McFadden on motor vehicle tax accounts 83710 and 83234. 7, order concerning real property taxes of Elisha Ogada on motor vehicle tax accounts 660051. 8, order concerning real property taxes of Javier Perez on motor vehicle tax accounts 625023. And 9, order concerning real property taxes of Valeria Broncoli on motor vehicle tax accounts 96179.
I would like to note for the record that order from Ward 25 has joined us. Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I will be that.
Second.
These items have been moved and seconded. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 15.
Thank you, Madam President. Items 2 to 9, the people that need help with the vehicle taxes. I will helping them by forgiving their interest, so they can pay the taxes, and we'll be bringing in $5,462. I wish everybody to support it. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under communications, I note items 10 through 25. Under first readings, I note items 26 and 27. Under miscellaneous, I move items 28 through 31. 28 from the Executive Director of Liberal City Initiatives, submitting a motion to amend 56 Hazel Street. Motion to amend the expiration from August 3, 2021 of that's extended A by the Board of Alders, or B by the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Development for a period not to extend a further 12 months and with written notice to the Board of Alders. 2, this order will expire and be of no further force and effect 12 months from the date of amendment of this order unless extended A by the Board of Alders or B by the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Development for a period not to exceed a further 12 months and with written notice to the Board of Alders. 29, from the Executive Director of the City Initiative, submitting a motion to amend 232 through 238 Columbus Avenue to amend the expiration of the Board of Alders order from October 7, 2020, unless extended A, by the Board of Alders, or B, by the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Development for a period not to extend or not to exceed a further 12 months, and with written notice to the Board of Alders. So this order will expire and be of no further force and affect 12 months from the date of amendment of this order unless extended A, by the Board of Alders, or B, by the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Development for a period not to exceed a further 12 months and with written notice to the Board of Alders. 30, from the Executive Director of Liberal City Initiative submitting a motion to amend 388 Blatchley Avenue to amend the expiration of the Board of Alders order from December 21, 2021, unless extended A, by the Board of Alders, or B, by the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Development for a period not to exceed a further 12 months and with written notice to the Board of Alders. So this order will expire and be of no further force and affect 12 months from the date of amendment of this order unless extended A, by the Board of Alders, or B, by the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Development for a period not to exceed a further 12 months and with written notice to the Board of Alders. 31, from the Executive Director of Livable City Initiative submitting a motion to amend 665 Washington Avenue to amend the expiration of the Board of Alders order from October 19, 2021, unless extended A, by the Board of Alders, or B, by the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Development for a period not to exceed a further 12 months and with written notice to the Board of Alders. To this order will expire and be of no further force and affect 12 months from the date of amendment of this order unless extended A, by the Board of Alders, or B, by the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Development for a period not to exceed a further 12 months and with written notice to the Board of Alders.
Second.
These items have been moved in second discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to suspend section 24-1-A of the rule of the Board of Alders to conduct further business.
Second.
The item has been moved in second discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. On unanimous consent, I ask you C on item numbers 32 through 35. 32, order concerning real property taxes of Jared Brown on motor vehicle tax account 613-845-33. Order concerning real property taxes of Tracy Day on motor vehicle tax accounts 83683 and 63285. 34, order concerning real property taxes of Jermaine Foskey on motor vehicle tax accounts 85232, 85231, 68042, and 68043. And 35, order concerning real property taxes of Alexis Ortega on motor vehicle tax accounts 918-701, 936-566, and 936-567.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move these items.
Second.
These items have been moved in second discussion. I call on order from Ward 15.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, these are people that need help with their taxes. We'll be helping them by forgiving their interest, so they can pay their taxes. And we're gonna bring in $1,797. I urge everybody's support. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, under second readings, I move item 36, city services and environmental policy favorable. Order of the New Haven Board of Alders designating the corner of Newhall and Huntington Street as Mother Mary E. Atkinson Joyner Corner in perpetuity to honor the life and legacy of Mother Mary Atkinson Joyner, a longtime community resident, well-respected church mother, and leader who's given back to the church and families in our community on many levels.
Second.
The item has been moved in second discussion. I call on order from Ward 10.
Thank you, Madam President. On Thursday, December 16, 2021, the City Services and Environmental Policy Committee met, and we would like to favorably recommend the Miss Mary E. Atkinson Joyner, known as many as Mother Mary, is a well-known and respected mother of the church and community leader, serving in many roles and capacities in the church and New Haven community for the past several decades. Mother Mary operated her own scholarship program. She could be found in her neighborhood, keeping it clean with a broom in her hand. She brought gospel singers here into New Haven, and not just any gospel singers, pretty famous gospel singers. One you might recognize as Sam Cooke before he became really famous. Mother Mary walks the walk and talks the talk, literally following in God's footsteps. She leads by example for most of her 100 years. We all want to leave a legacy, and Mother Mary's will live on, at least in our beautiful city. As Mother Teresa of Calcutta said, it's not about how much you do, but how much love you put into what you do that counts. And Mother Mary has done just that. I urge, and this is actually also a beautiful way to help celebrate Black History Month. I urge my colleagues to vote favorably to support this corner naming. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Oh, wait. No, hold on, slow down. I'll call on order from Ward 20.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll keep my remarks brief. I just wanted to second my colleague's statements about Mother Mary. I have the honor of going to her 100th birthday party, and she is still very spry, very vivid, very intelligent, and just a staple of our community. So I just wanted to stand in support. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All right, now we're ready. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passed. Ms. Majority.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to close suspension of section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Alders.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And before a motion to adjourn is appropriate, I will take points of personal privilege. Well, there are no points of personal privilege, so I have one. I am gonna ask everyone to please continue to pray for Darnell Golson. Pray for him and his family. It's really important that we continue to pray for people that we know need it. Thank you. So a motion to adjourn is approved.
So move, Madam President.
The item has been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
He's waiting for me to say opposed, huh? Nobody's opposed, right? No, everyone is ready to go home. So the motion passed. That's the correct way, right? The motion passed, but I want everyone to please continue to be safe, continue to wear their masks, continue to use safe distance as much as possible, and continue to sanitize your hands. Thank you. Good night.